This is Emonews, and today we speak with a young police officer who came in contact with COVID-19. And stay tuned as he tells us about his dreadful experience.
My name is Oneal Stedman. I'm from Laplin and a police officer by profession. Um, I'm a recovered patient from COVID-19.
Tell us about your experience with COVID-19.
COVID is no joke. The experience was terrible. Some people get mild symptoms, some of us get severe, like me, myself. I got severe symptoms, which includes vomiting, diarrhea, headache, body pains, and what else? Loss of appetite. I also got an pneumonia. That was, well, days after I tested positive. They did an X-ray and they found that I had a pneumonia. And it was my first time experience on it. I've never been so ill in my life. I exercise, I eat healthy, and my experience with COVID, it just brought me down flat. Like, I would have my phone in my hand and I couldn't reply to messages. I was so weak. All I wanted to do was sleep. That is all. Stay on my bed. There were days I just couldn't eat. The only thing I could really eat was ginger nuts, because for some reason I love that biscuit and that's the only thing I could eat. Nothing else. Ginger nuts and water. To be honest, when it was at its peak, I give up, because the nurses and the doctors, they were giving me medication, and at the time I just wasn't feeling any better for some reason. At that time they were giving me pills, but then a few days later they changed it to liquids. They gave me an access, and they were giving me liquids. But at some point I felt like, okay, that's it, I'm going to die, honestly.
How did you find out you had the virus?
I was at work, and well, I got on the Thursday. I had a cough, but it was just now and then I would cough. Then on the Friday, we went out on duty. We were pursuing a mental patient, and for some reason, after I did a little sprint, I felt like my head, like I had a pressure in my head, and it wasn't a headache. It was just a pressure, and I felt like my eyes was popping. But I didn't take that to mean nothing. I was still questioning it, why just that little run would have me feeling like that. And then I pursued back to base. Well, I went back to base, and then I went out to perform another duty. And while there, I felt my lower back was hurting, my shoulders, my forearm, and then I started getting weak. Look at my eye in the mirror, and I realized my eyes were red. So then I called back base, and I told them that I believe I may have the COVID because I'm getting the symptoms. So they brought me to the stadium to do an antigen test, which came back negative. We did it twice, in fact, and they both came back negative. So the nurse advised me to come back to town on Saturday to the Roseau Health Center to to have a PCR test administered. And I did the PCR test and they sent me back home. I wore my mask. I advised my father to wear his mask also, and I stayed in my room. So any food, he would have put it by the door for me, or my mother would put it by the door for me. And on Monday, I called and they informed me that I was positive. I mean, it wasn't a surprise to me because the symptoms I had, I knew to myself that I had COVID. Yeah, so they came for me later on in the night and they brought me down to the Ross Gym area. That's a quarantine facility. Yeah, so I came down with symptoms, all the symptoms. So they had to bring me somewhere where I could be treated. And that's where they brought me. And from there, that night, I started vomiting, coughing more frequently. And that's when the rough road really began. When I reached at the facility.
Are you vaccinated?
I'm not vaccinated.
You think that because you were not vaccinated, you got the severe symptoms?
Yes, I would want to believe that.
Are you contemplating on getting vaccinated now?
I am.
I know that they sent you home, you have done your quarantine, and now you are home. But you said that you have some lingering effects. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. Okay, ever since I've been weak, meaning like I cannot do certain things as I would want to, and then I get breathless. So it's like any little, if I go do anything heavy, like maybe a brisk walking or try and run, swimming, push-ups, I would get breathless and I would feel like my chest is actually bursting, like it just cannot hold the pressure. 15 push-ups and that is it.
And
my chest bursting.
You could have done 15 push-ups before.
That's a joke. 15 push-ups. I would 60 push-ups just like that. And 15 and my chest bursting. And sleep, I cannot control sleep. If I fail to sleep now, I will sleep. It's like, I don't know, for some reason, I just cannot control sleep. When it comes, I have to just sleep. I cannot fight it or anything. So.
How was your experience at the St. James facility?
The treatment was good, medication on time. The nurses, the doctors, they treat you good. I cannot speak about other people, but my experience was A1. Only thing I would recommend is more waters, more soup, fish water can be given to the patients because sometimes you cannot eat the dry food because you don't have appetite. But seeing that you know you need to eat, sometimes you just drink the water, you know. So that is the only thing. Just want to say thank you to the staff, the healthcare workers at the St. James Hospital, and keep up the good work and holy strength. To my friends, my colleagues, family who called and messaged me to just to keep in touch and know how I was doing, I just want to say thank you, and I appreciated that.
Any final comments?
So I'm just saying, COVID is no joke, all right? COVID taking people's life. And if you don't know what you have to do, you never know if your body can fight it. Or your brother or your sister, your mother, father, grandparents can fight the virus.